Alrighty folks, the bane of my diagnostic existence. Right here in front of me, it's a Jeep, I think it's a 15 Jeep Wrangler Sahara, 3.6 liter, the infamous cheese motor, the pentastar. There's been an attempt to bulletproof this. I see all the major stuff's been fixed. I've spent a couple days here trying to diagnose a rich condition on this, and I left work yesterday defeated. I've got a video on my diagnostic defeat. I'll leave a link to it probably up here in this video's description. You guys can go back to the part one later. But I'm wrapping my brain around this because I cannot seem to identify or trigger a response out of this engine's fuel trim numbers to let me know why it is running super rich. It's got two trouble codes in it, P0172 and P0175, indicating rich on banks 1 and bank 2. It's a V-shaped engine, so each bank is labeled 1 and 2. So it's running rich both sides. Now, I spent a lot of time checking out if the air coming into this engine was accurate. We usually prove out the air, and most times when we have fuel trim problems, we have a lean condition. And a lean condition is usually indicative of an air leak, like through a vacuum booster or an intake gasket, a hole maybe in the intake plumbing, something like that. And the lean condition vehicles is because we have unmetered air coming into the engine. So the calculating devices that monitor what comes in is inaccurate because air came in outside of the capabilities of the monitoring devices to monitor it. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I'm sitting around at my table last night with A-Rod, and we're going through wiring diagrams, and we're trying to troubleshoot this in our head and come up with scenarios to see how that plays out. And what I came up with is kind of a different thought process on it. I said to myself, and I said to Aaron, if a lean code is due to unmetered air, then shouldn't a rich code be due to unmetered fuel, right? That's what I was thinking. Because I know my air is okay on this, I can't really prove out my fuel. The diag trees have me doing fuel pressure tests and things like that. I know this thing has good fuel pressure. It's not a fuel pressure problem. Now, I also know that a major amount of work was just done on it, so I'm thinking in my head perhaps there is some kind of like a pinched wire or something disconnected, but we don't have trouble codes for that, and all of our values from the PCM they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now, it's skewed super rich, but our O2 sensors, our MAP sensors, our pressure sensors in the intake, everything is doing exactly what it's supposed to be. So it's not a sensor problem. We have a calculation problem. And I started looking at what cannot be calculated and what can't be measured really. What can't be measured is the volume of fuel going into the engine. The engine's fuel curves are based on calculations, the injector size, the fuel pump type and size and pressure capabilities, and its flow capabilities. So all that stuff is predetermined numerical values assigned to those components, and then that's programmed into the ECM so it knows how to operate all these components in unison. So I'm looking at this holistically going, so somebody just did a bunch of work on this, and I'm suspecting it's the guy that owns it. I think it was a DIY type of deal. And I briefly spoke about this in the other video. I was saying, and I speculated, I wonder if the guy that owns this vehicle suffered rock auto syndrome, you know, where you go in there to buy a couple parts and you end up buying just everything that is involved in the vehicle. It's a pretty common thing that happens in the DIY area because people have budget left over. They're not paying labor, so they'll make up the labor costs of a repair with just more parts, and they'll just shotgun those parts in there and have a great day. Well, I called the fellow that owned this thing this morning, and I was suspecting we had a fuel injector problem. So I asked the guy, I said, hey, what kind of fuel injectors did you put in this thing? And he said he put Bosch injectors in there. And I asked how much he paid, and he said he paid $100 for the whole set. Now, I looked up Bosch injectors through my auto parts sources, and I also looked up the factory OE injectors through my auto parts sources. And my cost for those Bosch injectors I think was $129 each. And my cost on the OE Mopar fuel injectors was $209 each. Now there's 6 of those, right? So when the fellow that owns this told us that he bought a whole set for $100, that was an immediate red flag for me. So what we're gonna do is, I'm waiting on a call back to order another set of injectors, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull this intake manifold off of this engine right here, and we're gonna try to dig out this fuel rail. There's one rail right here, then the other rail right there. So we have to pop this upper intake off of here, dig these fuel injectors out, and let's see what kind of part numbers are on them, and let's do a visual inspection on these injectors. I think we have a fuel injector set up inside of this vehicle that is flowing way too much fuel, and it's flowing it outside of the parameters that the ECM is used to. I don't think these are the correct injectors in this, or they are copycats or knockoffs, or they are they're counterfeit. So we're gonna pull this intake off real quick, and we're gonna see what kind of fuel injectors we have in this Pentastar engine. So stay tuned, this should be a very good diag video. Okay, so the best place to start is always gonna be from the beginning. So we're gonna pull this intake stuff off of here, and that'll give us some better access to the intake manifold. One thing I want to let you guys know, especially you DUI people or DYI people, air filters on these units. You have got to disassemble this area here to get this air filter to come off. You see these 2 bolts by this coolant hose there? If you try to peel this lid up to squeeze that air filter out, you'll break these little tabs here, because this is a pretty solid fixed mount type of deal. That bolt's not really bolted in. It may have already been broken. I think it has, yeah. But yeah, you gotta pull these bolts out in order to get this this lid to come off. I made the mistake long time ago of breaking one of those because I was in a hurry and I didn't know any better, and we had to buy a new piece. So always take those bolts out. Anyway, moving on. That's the extent of my pro tip for the day, or for the moment. I'm sure I'll have more later. Pull the clamp off, and now our airbox assembly is almost loosey-goosey. What is this? This is electron tape. I bet the connector's broken. Okay. Okay, so right here we've got our map sensor. We shotgunned this thing yesterday and threw one in it, trying to prove out the air monitoring scenario and make sure that what it was calculating was accurate. I was getting some weird numbers off of that map sensor, and I didn't know what to make of it, so I spent the $24 and bought a new one. See down here, got a throttle position or throttle body connector. It's fun. Come off. Okay. I would like to disconnect you now. I did it from the back. There we go. Nice and easy like. Beautiful. Now remember, you guys, no matter what I say, or whatever tone you think I may have, I'm never, ever gonna badmouth the person, even if there was a mistake that was made. And I say that because I've done such things inadvertently before. I've accidentally offended folks because of my commentary. But I assure you, it's never deliberate, and I don't want to cause any hurt feelioma. Ever. So I'm not trying to bash people. It sounds like it on occasion, but that's never my motivation. I don't like to be mean to people. Yeah, we have enough mean people in the world, and I try to not contribute to the problem. I need to pull this bracket off right here. There's a bracket, a flat mounting bracket. We're gonna unmount it and unflatten it. I'm also seeing here this thing's got a new set of coils, and these have the Chrysler symbol on them. These are authentic. I'm wondering about those injectors. Oh yeah, and the fella told me that the lean condition, the rich condition in the check engine light came on like almost immediately after they repaired this. They went in there to do the intake thing, or the oil cooler thing there, and while they were in there, they put in those other components, fuel injectors, and the rich condition was the result. Okay, so I need to pull these AC lines up slightly, get them off the studs. There's studs coming out of this bracket, so let's just let's force that up a little bit, push that to the side. And then we can slip the bracket out of here. There's all kinds of rigmarole in the way. I usually just pull these battery boxes out of here to get this out, but when I'm doing this job, it's usually because it needs a set of camshafts, so the whole thing comes apart. I'm just trying to get in there, and actually, I don't need to remove that bracket the whole way. That's actually going to be enough, because now I'm off of this manifold piece over here. See that little manifold piece? So I'm not even going to dig this out completely. We're just going to shove all this stuff out of the way and let this hang out here. Oh, there. Put that down there. Let's see, that's a hose going to that side. Breather hose, that's the breather hose for the differential, I think. Maybe the transmission, we'll just leave that alone there. Now we can get to the bolts for the manifold right here. Oh goody. Couple 8 mils. See what's around the back. There's one way back. And there should be another one. You guys see it? Got that one. I don't see another one. I think there's that other one. I think that might be my last one. Now there's something else somewhere. Where's the last one at? Now that might be all of them. Okay. The accessories. Oh, gravitational accessories. This hose is pinched here. There. That guy back. Oh, there's a hose I forgot. Vacuum hose right over here. That little guy. Unplug, thank you. Let's see what we have here. Okay, that looks decent. Stay. You over here for now. Checking connections. So we've got our fuel line right here. There's a fitting, 1 rail, 2 rails, plastic crossover. There's all of our injecting units. I'm going to go ahead and pull back the entirety of the wire harness. It'll include the injector connectors. I need a tool for those. The little red locking clips are difficult to pull away by hand. I see shiny new fuel injectors. I think I'm right. I think these are counterfeit, and I'm about to prove it. Yeah. See, this is the opposite emotional feeling that I experienced yesterday. Yesterday was doom and gloom and defeat and uncertainty, and today is some hope. Hope that persistence is going to pay off. Okay, here, let's go ahead and
pluck the fuel line off. It may spray, it may not. So we got a little blue safety clip, and then the back of it, there's more clip. You press that clip in from the back side, and then it should kind of walk off. Can't figure out how I'm going to do this. I don't think there's pressure here. It's sat overnight. Yep. Pressure would have bled down. The gas just found a cut in my fingernail. That hurts. Chemical burn. Okay, let's get the other side here. Okay, the number 2 injector, left side of the engine. We're just gonna pop a little red thing. So, see that? This is how these are coming out. Then you push the button in the middle and kind of give it a tug. I realized my fat flange covered up your viewing experience there, and I know you can't see what we're doing in here very much. As most things go in my particular business, I gotta balance between what I can show you and how effective I film versus how effective I actually get through the vehicle. I don't fancy myself to be one of those channels that stages everything. I like to actually show you the real deal. Okay, I do believe I'm down to just these 4 bolts, and then the fuel rails are going to come out. So we need like a, it's like a Torx 40, T40 bit. How about a T30? My micrometer is out of calibration. Ooh, you know what? Danger. See, normally when I'm in here, like I said, I'm tearing the whole engine apart. Well, I don't really ever have fear of dropping things down inside of it because the whole engine's apart. Well, now, since we're just doing this partially, we're gonna go ahead and plug up these intakes so I can't drop fasteners down into the cylinder heads, because that would be not great. Okay, pry bar coming in here. We're just gonna get under this rail and just, never mind, don't even need a pry bar, just come right out. Yeah, I got a habit of over embellishing a little bit too. Okay, there's our injecting units. Let's go and inspect them. Okay, so the fuel rail is original. That means they had replaced the injectors in the rails. They didn't get the whole rail with injectors. So let's pop this guy out. Come here, O-ring injector. Come yourself out of there. Yeah. Okay, let's go just some more light. So we have part numbers scribed on this. Let's see what we can see here. I don't think the camera's going to be able to pick this up, but you guys can Google along. Break out your computer, type in 0280158662. That's the first part number I see on this. I do not see Bosch on this injector anywhere. I'm going to type that in right now. 0280158662. You hit enter, and look what we populate. eBay, Parts Geek, eBay, 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 eBay. There's the part number, listing it for a Cummins. There's not a Cummins. Now look at here. You've got a Bosch box. See that? That's the picture on the eBay listing, okay? I don't know whose listing this is. I just clicked on it. Bosch box, similar injector. Okay. Now let's go to my parts catalog. Actually, let's see how much these things cost real quick. Free shipping, lifetime orders. Yeah, they put American flags in it. Makes you feel good about buying it. 100% genuine. What does that mean? Genuine what? Is it genuine Mopar parts or genuine counterfeit parts? And they're asking for, looks like $135 for the whole set. 6X fuel injectors, 6X. So the whole set, there's the part number, 135 bucks.
for these guys right here. So let's go into my parts catalog and we're gonna look up an actual Bosch part. Okay, pulling up my catalog here, we're gonna do a part number search first. That's 0280158662. And the survey says that part number crosses to the aftermarket CarQuest fuel injector, which that's not the same part number. Let's see, the parts house they've got a GB fuel injector, and that interchange on that one is the same part number, but there's no Bosch in this listing anywhere, right? We have no Bosch fuel injectors, and AutoZone has no listing, O'Reilly's has no listing, WorldPac has no listing, right? So let's lose the part number and just look for fuel injector. Fuel injector. Let's see what it populates. Injector, I can't spell. Spell that one correct? Sure. There we go, look, there's a Bosch. And the Bosch part number is 62410. The WorldPac part number is 1334476 for $172 a piece. Each. Let's see, AutoZone, what do they got for fuel injector? Nope. I don't even get a picture. Let's see, O'Reilly's has a standard ignition. That's an FJ1147. No crossover number. Those are $215 a piece. CarQuests are $79.99 a piece. Different part number. But yeah, so the ones that my guy bought, those are not Bosch injectors. Crown fuel injector, here we go. That's kind of what it looks like I have. Let me find those Bosches again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 172. Okay, so I conclude, based on my Googling research and price point analysis, that this is not a Bosch fuel injector. Now, they said it was a Bosch, and the customer said it was a Bosch, and the eBay listing said it was a Bosch, but my part number catalog says that that's not a Bosch, and the closest thing is Chinesium from CarQuest. Not to throw shade on CarQuest, but I'm a price point shopper sometimes. I'm gonna call my guy and ask him if he still has the other set of injectors so we don't have to waste $1,100 on new ones. We're gonna throw them in and then put the intake back on, fire that thing up, and see what our fuel trims are doing. Stand by, waiting on parts. Check it out, we got a bag of parts. This is what I want. So I'm wondering, oh yeah. Man, I hope you guys can see this. Hang on a sec. I might have to switch to my phone camera for the close-up, Mr. DeVille. I have an idea. Let's use the eyeballs of a fellow master technician. He's not here. Hey, A-Rod, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. You're over here. Here, we want to see how trained your eye is. Tell me what's wrong with these fuel injectors. One of them is the original, and one of them is the one that came out.
Well, that one's got a Chrysler logo on it.
That's definitely an indicator. We know it's, yeah. Do you see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
I see the nozzles have a different spray pattern. See that? See little holes in the nozzles? Dimensionally, they're accurate. But right there at the tip, that's our problem. I bet you that one's calibrated way differently than that one.
WTF.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they probably work. What is, yeah.
I mean, they were working, but
I mean, they were working, sure. Maybe if we supercharged it, it would work. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hang my hat right here.
That's gotta be the rich code.
See that? That's our rich code. Mm-hmm. These things are probably just throwing fuel.
Why he replaced those?
He felt like it because it was a part. It's what we had speculated earlier, because yeah, he was here. I was talking to him for a minute, and he decided, he was like, you know what? They were cheap. Why not? I bought a set of Bosches, thought they were good, brand name. eBay car parts. Yep, so let's go chuck in the new set of injectors, the new old set, and see what happens.
Okay, back at the bench. Let's get these original Chrysler branded actual correct parts reinstalled here. So we're going to lubricate the O-rings because I'm going to wipe the dirt and whatnot off of them and make them as clean as possible. Pop these bad units back where they go. Bit of lube, just kind of smear it around. Oh, I just pulled that out and then tried to lubricate it. That was a brain malfunction. Let me get these confused. So here, let's streamline this some. Out with the old, or out with the new, in with the old. That's what it is. There we go. Let's give them all a wipey down. Get all the sand off. There's always sand on Florida car parts. I think we just have sand floating around in the air at all times. Finely powdered quartz. Yeah, that was filthy. Now it's less filthy. Good. And last one. Wipe. Wipe. Chrysler. Yay! We are getting somewhere. I know this is boring and meticulous. We're almost there. Don't click away. Please don't leave me. Stay here. I want to be friends. Forever and ever and ever. All right. Good to go. We have 6 old fuel injectors installed. Let's drop this back on the intake and slap this unit back together. Burr, burr, burr. Burr, 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 burr. Just kind of press it down twice. We are seated. Good. Where's my bolts? Lost. Cut. No bolts. They're on the bumper. Left them down there, which is fantastic. Bolt gravity. Dave, did that thing start when you put gas back in it? Yeah. That car. Yeah, I know. There. Okay, there's one injector. Second injector, let's get you plugged in. No one can see what we're doing here. There. Next one. Yeah. Ow. Okay, those guys are all 3 connected. Good. Let's get this out of here. Get that out of here. Harness. That's number 6. Coil. Number 4. Harness. Number 2. Harness. No more harness plugs. And fuel line. Okay. Sound insulating foam. Put that back on the valve cover. Good. Okay. Intake manifold coming in. That's looking good. We need to make sure, see these little studs right here? These little studs have to go through the holes on this bracket here, and let's see, this bracket right down here, bottom of the screen. So we need to kind of line these holes up. Bear with me here, folks. Just put okay, the studs are lined up. I just need to move this one hose out of the way right here. We're close. Bolt holes aren't lining up just yet. Hang on, bear with me. Ow! A couple of these studs in the front popped out. Yeah, right down here. There! That's what we're looking for. Now I can line up all the fasteners up top. Feels good, looks good. That's it. Okay, we're lined up. Get some 8mm action going here. Okay, stable. Good. I like it. Let's throw the other bolts in and keep going. Let's see. Let's get. Almost dropped my camera. I was moving it and it fell off. Let's get some torque action going here. Yeah, I'm tightening these so they're tight. There is a spec on this, but I found after these have been removed once or twice, trying to use them to spec tends to break little ears where the bolt head goes to. Often they've probably been over torqued at some point, which is probably causes the damage. Got a wobble extension. Kick. I believe I have one more in there somewhere. I thought I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, that's all of them. Okay. So, that guy's nice and tight. Start plugging stuff back in. Got a vacuum line. That can go in there. 2 10 nuts and 2 10 nuts for the support brackets. Let's fetch those next. Did that go there? Or no, that didn't go there. It went somewhere else. Because something's not fitting. Goes there. Yeah, that one goes in there. Ow. This one goes there. This one plugs in here, and that one for the air intake temp sensor. Got it. PCV goes right there. Get that after this bracket business. There. Much more better. All right, we're getting somewhere with great efficiency. Except for that main wiring harness plug that I sandwiched under this AC line. Not great. Come out, come out. Oh, come on there. It's gonna come out. I'll get it. I got it in there. I'll get it to come back out. You flipping thing. Got it. Get it. Got it. Good. Great. There we go. Very nice. Plastic 10 mil. Another one. And then these two. These two go, one goes on the floor. These go in through the wheel well up here onto that stud right there. And that one also goes on the floor. There it is. Yeah, you can't reach them from the top because they're down like right there. So we gotta do it from the bottom. There. Found the stud. Okay, now where'd that other one go? I dropped it and I lost it. You boys see it? I see it. There it is, way over there. Yeah. No! Ow. Got it. Whew. Okay, you guys are not going to be able to see that other one, but I can feel it. And if I can feel it, then I can put the bolt on it. Nut. Spinning. Okay. So, 10 millimeter ratcheting wrench. We'll reach in there, tighten down those two nuts. Okay. Ratcheting flex head wrench for the win. I've spun those nuts down as far as I could by hand, so I'm not ratcheting against really nothing, so we should just get these up on the torque real quick like, and we're good. And of course they're spinning backwards. Why wouldn't they? Come on. Finger tighten it more. Yeah, this, like I said, this whole battery box thing is supposed to come out of this for this operation right here. But I didn't want to. My ratchet wrench is slipping. It's got a broken tooth in it. Come on. Time to cash in on that lifetime snap-on warranty. Well, it doesn't cover normal wear and tear, and I think you had a breaker bar on it. Aw. So yeah. Okay, I got this front one's harder. I have the ratchet on the front nut. My face is on a tire. Yeah, this is the life. Should have been an astronaut, right? Maybe a fireman? Yeah. Okay. So, take the wheel well, put that back where it goes. Ow. And air box, that's what's left. Let me throw this on and we're gonna key it on, fire it up, and check out our scanning tool. Alrighty, we're back in the cabin. I have not done an engine start on this just yet. I think it's gonna go absolutely flawlessly. So we're gonna key it on, and a couple times while we sit here, we're gonna key this on. The reason for such things is that fuel rail is empty, there's nothing in it. So because there's nothing in it, we need to prime the fuel system, and we do that with some key cycles. Most fuel injected vehicles, when you first touch the key, it'll fire up the fuel pump to prime it. That way when you go to do your start sequence, it doesn't have to fill the fuel system with fuel, and you don't have to experience longer cranks. Display fitted systems. So we're just utilizing that feature to prime it while we sit here. Now, we're gonna go back into our same data stream that we had seen on the previous video. We're gonna take a look at short-term fuel trims. We got long terms right here, still at its -33 value, that's max. And scroll it down to short terms, and that's gonna be the number to watch. If short terms start to move into the positive, then we've got ourselves a win. Yeah, map, blah, blah, blah. Come on. I must have scrolled right past it. Yeah, there it is right there, short term ADAPS. They're at 0 right now. Let's fire it up and see what happens. You guys ready? Beginning engine starting sequence now. All right, it's running. Okay, seems so far so good, I suppose. Come on, short terms. Looky, looky, 27 in the positive. Yeah, baby, yeah. All right, proof is in the pudding. -33 is where our long-term trims are still at. Those are gonna wind down later on. And our short terms instantaneously went max positive. That's there to counteract the overall trim level created by the long term. This is excellent. I'm so happy with this. I got a check engine light on, and I think it's because I left the intake air temperature sensor disconnected. Remember that one on the bottom? Yeah, I did. There's always something to forget. We'll put the tape back. That's how we found it. There we go. Yay! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Short terms still super duper negative. I'm sorry, positive. So let's just go reset our adaptive values. Go to memory resets. This is gonna, I need to key it off. Resetting the adaptive values. Fuel ADAPS, there we go. Saving, what are we saving? I didn't do anything yet. Not supported, okay. I'll show you. We'll reset all of them. All adaptive memory, there we go. All adaptive memory has been reset. That's the equivalent of resetting CAM in a Ford, keep alive memory. That's how the vehicle knew that last time we shut it off, the fuel trims were at max negative, because it saved that in what's called keep alive memory or adaptive memory. It's effectively the same thing. The code has been erased, so I should not have a code in there for the intake air temperature sensor. So now, key it off one more time. Restart, no check engine light. Goodbye. Long terms have been recalibrated to 0, and now the long term will adjust as short terms adjust, and our short terms -9, -5. We want to see this hovering right around plus or minus 10 around 0. So -10 to +10, that's where we want to see short terms. And then our long terms should stabilize very similarly, like -3, -7. As long as we're not going like -30 right off the bat, we're good. Let's give it a little bit of throttle. We have not gotten into closed loop fuel control just yet. Start graphing some things. I want to see what the O2s are doing. Yeah, not everybody's awake yet. We're not up to temp. We're not in closed loop. But my short-term fuel trims are telling me we're right on the money. This is perfect. Yep, a little bit of positive, a little positive. We got a winner. This is fantastic. I'm super pleased with this. So that being said, I do not believe there's anything more to offer you guys on this particular repair. Thanks for your comments in the first video on your suggestions. Let me know what you think about the troubleshooting process that we went through to determine that we had fake fuel injectors in this thing. And most importantly, do not anymore, ever, all you guys, stop buying car parts off eBay and Amazon. With the exception of something that's used on eBay, maybe, but you need to know what it is you're buying and why you're trying to buy the used one. I would not ever buy new replacement components off the internet. The risk of counterfeits is just too great. When the factory one is $200 per and you can buy a whole set for less than half of that, the numbers are not adding up. Sometimes you gotta buy things based on price point. And like we saw on that eBay listing, the counterfeits are convincing. You know, it had a Bosch box and a Bosch part number. And maybe those actually were Bosch, but maybe they went to something else. I don't know. It's hard to speculate things that we're not intimately knowledgeable about. I'm not the guy that boxes those things up, but I know that when you buy car parts off the internet, OE quality car parts, and they cost a fraction of what they normally do retail, somebody's probably ripping somebody off, and that somebody's probably the customer. So do not buy Amazon and eBay car parts. Just please stop doing that, unless it's used parts. That's a different story. So anyway, that's my soapbox for the day. This thing's good. We need to drive it. There is an oil leak on it. I think we're pulling the transmission out to change the rear main seal to fix up this oil leak, and that should be the conclusion repair of this particular Jeep Sahara Wrangler. So again, one more time, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more content in the future. And most importantly, have yourselves an absolutely fantastic day. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. In a day, in a Jeep, in a video, in a transmission.